Do you want
It's
us
hard
to?
to,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's hard to synchronize when we're
I know.
apart.
Hi, everyone. It's the Book Cougars, two middle-aged women on the hunt for a good read. I'm Emily.
And I'm Chris. And we're
We're
here with a Friday Reads video.
recording from a distance, sadly, because we're both slightly under the weather. So we thought we should not share with each other.
Yes, exactly.
We hope you all have had a great holiday season and maybe you're hunkering down with some nice books for this weekend, New Year's Eve weekend. Let us
Right.
know. We want to know.
Yeah. Did you
Let
get
us,
any books for the holidays?
just what I was going to say. We want to
Yeah,
know. Tell us about your book stack. Did you get any books for the holiday?
I did. I got well, two that I have here with me. One is this excuse me. So the first is this beautiful limited edition Willa Cather,
Look at that.
My Antonia. I think, I have that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so Franklin Mint, and it's just a beautiful edition. I got this from my sister-in-law and her family. Nice leather. And
Right.
then from my sister, I got a book, The Nine. Have you heard of this one? Um, the true story of a band of women who survived the worst of Nazi Germany. It's by Gwen Strauss.
I have heard of that.
Um, yeah, I have two. So this will be something I'll be reading in 2024.
I didn't get any books for the holidays, but what I did get, and sadly, since I'm recording at Book Cougars headquarters, I don't have it to show off, but um, the gentleman caller's son, Liam, gave me a really cool battery pack for charging your phone. And it's from the New York Public Library, and it looks like, like the old-fashioned card checkout cards. What were those called, Chris, in the
Yeah,
back of the book? Did they have a
checkout
name?
cards. I don't really know. I'm sure they have a formal name. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really cool. I love it. And it's pocket sized. So I took it with me when I went on vacation to see my daughter. It's very convenient. I'll show and tell it on a future video.
nice. Very cool. So what are you reading today?
So I have in my sweaty little palms the new Julia Alvarez. It's called The Cemetery of Untold Stories, and this is out in April. Thank you to Algonquin for giving us an advanced reader's copy. This is very meta. It's about Alma Cruz, who's a writer, and she gets the chance to buy a piece of property in the Dominican Republic. So she starts to bury her manuscripts, her I guess they're finished, but they're just never published, her unpublished manuscripts. But then the characters in the stories decide they want to come to life.
Cool.
So isn't that cool? It's
It
so
is.
like meta and also magical realism. So I'm really looking
Hmm.
to it. This comes out, I think, on April 2nd. So yeah,
Nice.
I love
Pretty
her writing.
cool. That sounds wild. I can't wait to hear about
Yeah.
it. Well, I'm reading a historical fiction, Free Gift by James Ben. I guess if I don't show my face, it'll focus it. I love this cover. Um,
Yeah.
this is a historical fiction set during the Revolutionary War in Connecticut, primarily in New London at this point, and it's about a man named Freegift who was enslaved. And after his mother passes away, his former master emancipates him, and he is sent on a mission by his mother. Her deathbed wish is that he find his father, who he had never known anything about his father. And it turns out his father was Benedict Arnold.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. So really good. It's, it's told in the first person, which can be challenging for me sometimes because I almost kind of like a come on, let's hurry up, let's go. But it's a first person narrative, but I'm enjoying it very much.
And he's great with research, so I'm sure that part is really
Hmm.
interesting and factual
Yeah.
historical, which I know you like.
Yeah, he writes the Billy Boyle World War II series. For those of you who think like, oh, I know that name. It's World War II is his main jam, but he's formerly of Connecticut, and a librarian. He retired as a librarian and then started writing. So he does a great job with the research.
Yeah, and that one's a standalone, so I'm sure that's
Yes.
fun for him on occasion too to do that.
Hmm.
Well, we also wanted to talk about, we're very thoughtful usually about the book we start the year with. Mine is very heavy. I'm gonna do it.
Are you? Look at
Yeah.
you.
The Covenant of Water by Abraham Verghese. I loved The Cutting for Stone, and I think it's been 10 years since he put out another novel. This has been everywhere. I didn't want to read it over the summer because I felt like there was too much hype about it. And because
Hmm.
at first I thought it would be my big book summer challenge. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll leave it till next year. But I'm going to start it on January 1st. And one of our listeners, Jessica, is going to do a buddy read with me. If anyone else is interested, send an email to bookcougars@gmail.com and we can read along. I'm not going to do a schedule or anything like that. I am going to get the audiobook, which I think is 32 hours. So
Nice.
that's where I'm going to be spending probably the first 2 weeks of the year.
Nice.
How about you?
Well, I'm switching things up a little bit. For the last 3 years, I started my year with a book in the Practical Magic series by Alice Hoffman. And I have my last one in the series to read. It's the Book of Magic. This is book 2 in the series, but it came out in 2021. So it's, the last one, right?
I don't know.
You okay.
So
That's the story
I
that
can't
I have
remember.
in my brain anyway.
Well, remember it's like one was a prequel. She did them out
I
of
know. Yes.
order, so it's
Yeah.
confusing. Yeah.
So at least on Goodreads, this is listed as number 2 in the Practical Magic series. So we'll see how that goes. But usually I start the year with one of these. This year I'm going to end it with one of these. So I'm going to be reading the Book of Magic over the weekend because on January 1st, I got a heavy one too. I'll be starting this bad boy, the Iliad, Emily Wilson's new translation. And I'm doing this one as a buddy read with a bunch of people on Instagram. Really looking forward to that. And we're gonna have check-ins on Instagram. If you're interested, shoot us an email and we'll get you hooked up with the Instagram chat group. But we're also going to have some Zoom conversations throughout this adventure. And let me just pull up my handy calendar here because we set the first Zoom for, drumroll, Sunday, January 7th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have a Zoom conversation where, we'll kind of talk about how the first week of reading is going, but then we're also going to read it aloud to one another. We'll all
Oh,
take
wow.
several lines to read it because Emily Wilson has said, this was a poem from the oral tradition. It was around for hundreds of years before it was written down. And, she said the way to do it is to hear it. So she encourages people to read aloud. So this will be interesting. It's going to be a judgment-free zone. So pronunciations and stuff, don't worry about it. We're just going to do our best and have fun with it.
How cool. That's exciting. And I
Yeah.
think it's really nice that you're just, like 1 week in, you're getting going because I just think that'll set everyone on a path for success.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is a reading schedule. Uh, really kind of detailed reading schedule. And no one, some people might follow that to the T. Other people I think are going to be reading when they can and however much they can. And I'm also interested in getting the audio version of Emily Wilson's translation. So when I'm reading on my own, I could do that hybrid reading of listening and reading.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, we're both starting with chunksters for the new year.
totally. Yes.
Anyone else inspired to do that? Let us know. Or are you just reading things you got for the holidays? We do really want to know. We're nosy.
Yeah, absolutely, we are. We wish you lots of happy
Happy
reading.
reading.